Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you fresh out of the gym today. It's me, Health Club's Fitness Evolution. Probably the best, most productive workout I've had since I've joined this gym. Really good, all except for when I went and took a shower after my workout and found out that I didn't bring any clothes to change into. So I had to put on the same damn shirt and shorts that I wore here in. So I'm clean, sinking back into the filth that I sweated out. So I'll probably have to take another shower once I get home and change. But it is what it is. Listening to the Wrestling Observer today, lots of big news coming out today. People talking about Paige and Del Rio. People talking about the upcoming pay-per-view this weekend for SmackDown. But most of all, the thing that I took out of the Observer was honestly the question that came out of the mailbag. And sometimes that's where you're going to get the most truthful answers from Dave Meltzer when you ask a question in the mailbag. And I don't know if maybe he just pulls back the curtain and lets a little bit out because you asked him directly a question and he's going to answer you. Or maybe if he just sometimes drops his defense and just lets something slip out. But the question was asked for the millionth time with the upcoming next year's video game. Would they be able to go out and sign Kurt Angle to bring him back into the WWE fold? Now, we've seen a lot of legends return over the years. Bruno Sammartino was somebody that honestly just WWE, Triple H was able to reach out to and finally able to get him to come back into the WWE fold, be a part of the WrestleMania 29 class. But even before that, Mattel, when they were going to be releasing WWE new action figures, they were going to go with the Defining Moments line. They reached out and they got Randy Savage to sign a deal, and that was supposed to be Randy Savage coming back into the WWE fold for the first time in a long, long time. And then from there, we had the video game signing none other than the Ultimate Warrior, another holdout that had held out for a long time, basically because bad blood between the two of them. Sting was somebody that honestly was brought back after a long time of, just always the question, would he ever join WWE? It was almost with Sting that he had done his whole career with WCW and TNA. Did he really need WWE? And WWE gave him that awesome WrestleMania 31 moment, him going into the WrestleMania 32 Hall of Fame. But then, of course, he had the match against Seth Rollins, which, it is what it is. Some people blame Sting for being older. Some people blame Seth Rollins for just being injury prone, throwing guys around, doing moves that look cool, but in the long run aren't safe. So when the question was asked, would the video game be able to sign Kurt Angle and be able to pave the way for Kurt Angle to come back into the WWE fold, Dave just honestly laughed with this Dave Meltzer laugh that you honestly might not understand unless you're a constant listener to the Observer. But when he does that laugh, he knows something, and it could go either way. And honestly, when you hear that laugh, there is a lot of bad blood between Angle and the WWE. But the one thing that I noticed from being a follower of Kurt Angle on Instagram is that the guy still loves wrestling. He tweets about wrestling. When people ask him would he want to go back to WWE, he always constantly says yes. And I don't think, honestly, it's about the money. The guy was a professional from probably 1998 until last year, 2015. You can make jokes about him working for TNA, but I'm sure he got every dime that he deserved from TNA, and he had to have been one of the most highest paid guys on the roster during his run there. Would he have made more money if he wrestled for WWE, if he would have left during some period there? Maybe, but then there's also stories that WWE didn't want to bring him back because of the things that Angle said after his departure from WWE and he signed with TNA. Basically calling Vince the devil and saying that Vince wouldn't let him go to rehab to get his body right after he got addicted to drugs and alcohol, blaming him for a lot of the bad things that had happened in his life, such as his divorce, and it is what it is. Dave has always said on the show when asked about it is that basically Vince doesn't want to bring Kurt back because he is a liability, and if Kurt Angle does have an untimely death, because of the fact that he's an Olympic gold medalist, there's going to be a certain amount of news publicity that follows it. He's already covered as being a WWE superstar from his past, but, it might be covered as that Vince brought him back and that he died under Vince's watch. And to me, that seems like it's a little bit of a long run to put all that stuff together. But honestly, to me, the video game has also sort of painted a picture of always bringing back somebody You know, the year before last, I believe, was Stone Cold Steve Austin, which was sort of cheating because of the fact that Stone Cold was a big part of the game a few years ago when CM Punk was on the cover, when it was the whole Attitude Era versus the PG Era storyline that was going on during that game. But, you know, they got to bring somebody back. And if you're going to bring anybody back, it might as well be Kurt Angle. The guy still looks like Kurt Angle. Would Kurt Angle want to wrestle? Probably, more than likely. I think that honestly, if it was put on the table, I bet you Angle would want a main event run in WWE. I think he would want a rematch against Brock Lesnar from WrestleMania 19. I think he would want to wrestle, definitely, Gable and Jordan. People have thought about bringing him back as the manager of American Alpha. You know, there's all sorts of things you could do, but when it comes down to it, I think that they sort of need to sit down Angle and say, like, we'd love to bring you back. You know, you would have been great for one of the GM roles on either Raw or SmackDown. He was a great SmackDown GM back in the day. I think he did it twice. But, you know, we got to Daniel Bryan you to the point where basically you're not going to wrestle. We'd love you to come back, do a whole lot of publicity. I mean, Goldberg has done way more publicity for that upcoming video game that I really thought he was going to do. Every week they're doing some sort of Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg, you know, storyline in some sort of interview where I don't know if it's leading towards a match. I don't know if it's leading towards just when they break out the video game commercial before the game comes out. That's what it's building up to. All I know is Brock doesn't do things and he's not going to make money. And Brock is reacting to Goldberg. So why is that? We don't know. So we'll just have to wait and see. But Angle being the next guy in the video game, coming back into WWE, getting that Hall of Fame status, I think is a must. But it's something that we're still going to have to wait and see what happens in the future.